Aphrodites and Adonis. But now the time had come for Aphrodite herself to taste the bitterness of death. Just as Acre had lost Narcissus, so the goddess of love lost her darling Adonis. Adonis, son of Cinyras, king of Cyprus, was born one spring in the forest from the trunk of a myrtle which suddenly split open and brought him forth into the world. It is said that this myrtle was really Smyrna, queen of Cyprus, whom the gods had transformed into a tree in punishment for some evil deed. Adonis grew up in the forest, tended by the nymphs, and became the most handsome young man the world had ever seen. Indeed, there were many who felt that he surpassed even the golden-haired Apollo in beauty. So divine were Adonis' looks that two goddesses quarreled over which of them would take him for her own. One of these was Aphrodite, and the other was Persephone. Finally, it was Aphrodite who won, and now she and Adonis run together through the forest, playing happily beneath the golden shafts of sunlight. There are many who know the meaning of true love, but none can be compared with the goddess of love herself. For the sake of Adonis, she gave up the airy halls of Olympus and hastened to Cyprus to be with her beloved. Neither cold nor heat nor storm could keep Aphrodite from his side. Adonis was fond of hunting, and Aphrodite would often go with him in chase of deer and hares and wild goats. But she warned him not to hunt bears, wild boar, or wolves, for fear that it might come to some harm. One day, however, when Aphrodite was away, Adonis spied a huge white boar. The goddess' warnings did not even cross his mind. He approached it on silent steps and prepared himself to strike. Alas, at the very moment it was taking aim, the boar suddenly threw itself upon him and impaled him on its savage tusks. Aphrodite sensed that some misfortune had befallen her beloved Adonis, and hastened in search of him. She combed the forest. In her haste and anxiety, her sandals slipped from her feet, which soon became scratched and bleeding. When she finally found Adonis, he was already breathing his last. Beside herself with grief, she collapsed upon his dead body. The heart of the goddess of love was torn asunder by unbearable pangs of sorrow. Alone and desolate, she wandered through the forest, weeping over the cruel loss of her beloved. Her tears watered the heart, and where they fell, anemones sprang up. From the drops of blood which trickled from her feet, the roses, which till then had all been white, were dyed a crimson hue. Aphrodite's pain and grief over the loss of the noble youth awoke the sympathy of every god on Olympus. And the mighty Zeus, ruler of gods and men, pitied her most of all. And so he commanded his brother Hades to allow Adonis to return to Earth for 6 months every year. The command was obeyed. Every year Adonis returns to earth and in a remote forest on Cyprus is received with tears of joy by the goddess who adored him. Then all nature rejoices with her and puts on its brightest clothes. The birds sing in celebration and the return of Adonis to his beloved and the coming of spring to the earth. But when the time comes for Adonis to return to the underworld, Aphrodite gives him a last heartbroken kiss, and the whole world mourns. The sky becomes darker with clouds because Adonis had gone and because autumn is coming and the harsh winter too. But Adonis will come again, and with him will come the spring with its blossom and its joys. The happy festivals of April will return too, when men praise Adonis, Aphrodite, and blossoming spring, while somewhere in the forest the divine couple run in play and laugh in shared delight again and again.